Hi, I'm Jazz, and this is All That Jazz. I thought this one would be for my AA fellows. I was thinking about reading this, and this came up the other day. The Freedom from Freedom to in the Daily Reflections AA book. And if you don't know AA, but I mostly try to talk to recovery people, is we read these daily reflections. And this one I just find is like, speaks to conquering things in addiction. Like people that get sober and stay sober, I don't know if there's anything more bigger in your life that you could accomplish than that. It's like some of the hardest things to do is to get free of addiction. So to anyone out there that's sober and clean today, like good for you. Like we are doing it. And this is like one of my, reading that came up the other day, January 30th. I actually was in a meeting for this one. And freedom from freedom to. I'm going to talk to you about just the alcoholic side of this. Like I'm coming up to 5 years of being sober. And it really feels like, I think this is going to be my best cake. I am just have such a completely different outlook on life. I've got so much more I feel like I'm actually experiencing the freedom that they talk about. And I had glimmers of that before, but I think like in a wholeness, like there's for just freedom in more places than one in my life. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read this one today for you guys. So you know exactly what happens. And so what would happen in a meeting is that we would like people think getting sober and going to AA is like really freaky and scary, but it's like, it's really warm and loving. Like we're all these addicts, like people that like to drink and can't drink anymore. We go sit in these rooms and we just talk about spirituality. We talk about our struggles. We talk about what's going on with us and our feelings. Like we're getting vulnerable and honest. Like it's a beautiful place, and it's a really good place to try to quit drinking and get sober and like actually have a chance at a better life. And I know for me, like, I mean, yeah, I love the life that I have today. And it also says like a new freedom. And it's true. Like that's one of the promises. It's like experience a new freedom. So here we go. We're going to do January 30th. Is freedom from freedom to. Man, that's some good stuff right there. We're going to know a new freedom. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 83. I'm just going to read it neutral here. Okay. Freedom for me is both freedom from and freedom to. The first freedom I enjoy is freedom from the slavery of alcohol. What a relief. Then I begin to experience freedom from fear, freedom from people, of economic insecurity, of commitment, of failure, of rejection. Then I begin to enjoy freedom too. Freedom to choose sobriety for today. Freedom to be myself. Freedom to express my opinion, to experience peace of mind, to love and to be loved, and freedom to grow spiritually. But how can I achieve these freedoms? The big book, this blue book behind me there that we do in AA, the big book clearly says that before I am halfway through making amends, I will begin to know a new freedom. Not the old freedom from doing what I please, without regard to others, but the new freedom that allows fulfillment of the promises in my life. What a joy to be free. I really wanted to make an episode on this one. I've been thinking about it for a little while now, because it is like so true for me. I am free from the obsession of alcohol, free from liking and loving alcohol. I love what it said about the freedom from the fear. You know, as I grew a relationship with my higher power, like, and as I just like also like so much action at like dealing with like my debt and my finances and becoming more disciplined with my spending and just basically maturing, right? Like maturing financially, like economic freedom. Fears, like I love just like the freedom from so many fears, like, and when you really become learning yourself and loving yourself, you start to not care about rejection anymore. It starts being like, rejection like rolls off me now. Like, well, who cares if you don't like me? Like, who cares if you don't like that? Like, that's just your stuff. You can like whatever you want. You can have your opinion, but it's like, it doesn't affect my value and my worth over here and then who I am. So it's like the freedom from like needing that person to not reject me ever, or like to live a life where I never get rejected. Like, no, now I just live in a world where I don't care if I'm rejected. So that's amazing. So freedom from, freedom to. When I was in active addiction, like, can't even believe I was in active addiction. It feels like it was another person's life that happened before the life that I have now. But when I was in active addiction, I thought I had freedom because I drank when I wanted, I worked when I wanted, I spent money when I wanted. Like, I just did everything, whatever I wanted to do, I did first. And I didn't care about anybody else. I didn't say I don't care about you. I just was like, as long as I got that, then I'll just do whatever everybody else wants. But I was always like trying to get that alcohol. And so that alcohol was my higher power. And so my focus was about the drinking, and I thought I was free, but compared to the freedom that I have in recovery, it doesn't touch it. Like, I didn't really have a lot of freedom in active addiction, but I thought I did because I was irresponsible and I didn't care, didn't give an F about anything, and I think what that was doing was just, I was pulling the blinders over myself, saying that it was great when it wasn't really great. I was hungover a lot. I always needed to get my drinks. One thing I love is that I don't need that. I don't want that. And over the years, that obsession has been taken away. So, it is liberating to become sober, and working at this for almost 5 years. I mean, I have 5 years of results of working hard and going to meetings consistently and doing the whole program. And that's the thing. It's like, if you're a person that's like in early recovery and you're just entering, like, the only thing you have to do is go to a meeting. Like, in the first 90 days, it's like the first 90 days. But then it's like, make recovery your life. Like, I go to my meetings, I get my sponsor, and I just like do that over and over and over again for years. And then you get like massive, like such amazing results. Like, you eventually do get all the freedom. So, speaking from someone that's like, it's like action and more action, like there's peace in the action. Like, I also love that saying too, because it's just like, the more you do to like help that situation, it's like there is like a peace that comes over you because you've done something. It's more unpeaceful sitting there not doing something and thinking about what to do than actually just start doing something. Like, just start fixing and working on the problem. And taking those action steps, like whether it's like talking on the phone to figure out what to do next, like, but just start, like, get as much action as you can. Eventually that effort pays off. You'll get those results. So yeah, this is just a really cool like AA daily reflections that I like to reflect on. And I just am here to say that the promises are true in my life today, and they could be for you. So yeah, freedom from, freedom to. I do so much more now than I was ever able to in active addiction. Like, I used to want to go on like 3-day backpacking hikes, and I wanted to travel the world, but I never did and never wanted to because I was always thinking about how am I going to get all my booze? I always had to consider what am I going to do for alcohol? And that's not freedom at all. That's bondage. So Yeah. Anyways, love you guys and thanks for being here. Okay, bye.